What do you guys think of the Constitution?
Absolute terrible, needs to be redone immediately.
I think it needs a lot more reform.
It should be abolished. Like, it's time for a new Constitution. It wasn't like pronouns like they, them, stuff like that either.
So we should include the new pronouns in the Constitution?
Yeah, like to make everyone feel included.
So we're going to rewrite the Constitution, Dave. It's now going to start with they, them, me, he, she, whatever. The pronoun they always forget is we. We. The first word of the Constitution. We. Still a pronoun, right?
We the people used to be sane. We the people ain't sane no more. I mean, look, this is just such an extension of the disaster that critical race theory, that social justice, that the endless dishonest assault on all of our institutions and our history has wrought. Does it surprise anyone to hear any of this? Of course not. Yes, we should have gender pronouns in our new Constitution. The Constitution...
So ridiculous. Look, I can't even laugh. I can't even get through you saying it without laughing.
Look, the Constitution is, in my estimation, the most perfect man-made document to free people in the history of the world. It doesn't mean that all of the people that wrote it were perfect, nor any of us that now live by those laws are perfect. But those documents set up a country that for 250 years said, hey, we don't care where you're from, we don't care what you look like, we don't care what your religion is, et cetera, you can come here and make a better life for yourself. And John, I do this all the time when I'm at college events, but I would ask anyone watching this right now to think about your own grandparents. And is your life better or worse? And the answer, almost without exception, is better. That tells you that this thing, which is based in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, is pretty good. And the fact that these kids are being empowered by big tech companies and corporate media to destroy the most wonderful, precious country in the world is deeply depressing.
I know. You know, I think about your grandparents. My grandparents lived through the Great Depression. They saved every piece of plastic, every margarine dish was used for a secondary purpose. And now I feel bad every time I look at my trash can at work and I've got 2 Uber Eats packages in there. We live in the best time in the history of mankind in terms of convenience and opportunity. And you know, the Constitution was written in a way that it doesn't change unless we change it. But things like we have different meaning than they did in 1776. Now it incorporates all these races and religions and both sexes. It didn't necessarily mean that back then, but it means that now. And these kids aren't taught that. You know, you also talked about, you know, everybody has to be infallible now if they are going to be worshipped. And humans are not like that. That's another thing that these kids don't learn through all these participation trophies and you're perfect, you living your own individual truth. Life isn't like that. We're not perfect. Nobody is. But these kids want it. They want perfection.
Well, John, you know, the interesting part of this also is that we shouldn't just aim at the kids here, because of course everything you said is just right, but it's the adults that have failed them.
True.
You know, like when I hear these kids with the gender pronouns and sure, let's disassemble the United States and he, she, Zer, the whole thing. Of course it's ridiculous, but it's because they were allowed to learn these things. I mean, you know, my last book, Don't Burn This Book, was a defense of classical liberalism, of Enlightenment values and individual rights and things of that nature. But at the end of purely secular liberalism, you end up with this. You end up with people living in the freest society, as I said, in the history of the world, trying to disassemble it and not even knowing what gender they are at the exact same time. And those of us that want to save this country, we really have to figure this thing out, and soon, because the more that these colleges pump out these kids that are here to burn it down, which is exactly what the progressives have been teaching them this whole time, the quicker we're going to have to fix something or build something separate or defend this. We just need more of us, and we have to work harder.
Right, and that's the aha moment when you read the Constitution. You're like, wait a minute, this gives the power to me from the higher power to empower my government. Doesn't give it from the higher power to the government to empower themselves over me. And that's what I wish these kids understood. And you're right, it's not their fault. It's the adults who have failed them. All right, so Dave, when do I get my advanced copy of the new book?
We'll get that out to you soon. Do you want me, when I'm signing it, you know, I usually would write your name or something, but can I do a he or a she or a we or a zer, or are you an Autobot? What are you these days?
My pronoun is bro. I go with that. So you can, just kidding. Or dude, whatever you want. But Dave, we'll see you soon. I look forward to reading the book when it comes out in April. Thanks so much as always.
Good seeing you, bro.
All right, dude.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.